Hey everyone, it's Army Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to the very first monster analysis on the brand new corrupted cosmic monster, Dream. That's right, we are starting things off with Dream. I think this is the monster that most players want to hear about. Dream was running after Pixelian through a network of dimensions when everything went pitch black. They didn't know it then, but somewhere in the Monster Legends universe, someone had just closed the cosmic portal. Talking about the Lord, I think. Changing the rules of the game for everyone. In that moment, Dream got trapped in between two dimensions. The energy wave corrupted his DNA and he turned into a bug. After that, Dream managed to get out of the hole between dimensions, but he had to cover his face with a mask because he looked nothing like his old self. Thankfully, he got to keep his most recognizable trait, his contagious wheezing laugh. And so that is the Monster Legends lore of Dream. Here we have the monster design, here we have the stats when he's fully maxed out, level 150, but let's not worry too much about that. Let's take a look at the base stats at level 100. Dream is a corrupted earth attacker with quicksand and stun skills. He has an evolving trait. At rank 0 he's hardened, at rank 1 he becomes immune to blind, and at rank 3 he gains precision at the start of the battle, which basically means his accuracy is increased by 50%. He will not be missing any of his attacks. Alright, so we'll start off with the stats. Keep in mind these are corrupted stats. You can't compare these to cosmic stats, so we have to compare these with other monsters. As of right now, we do have the monster sheets for two other monsters, Minos and Igorobuki, so I'm going to compare Dream stats to those two. So life stat is 87,766, and that is in the middle of the three corrupted monsters we have right now. The power stat 8536, this is tied with that of Minos, and so Igorobuki currently has the lowest power stats. And lastly, the speed stat is 6248. Once again, it is tied with that of Minos. So yeah, we really don't know much more until more corrupted monsters get released. Alright, so we talked about the trait already. The Hardened, it's just a nice umbrella trait to have. 20% chance to not get hit with negative effects. The rank 1 immune to blind makes so your accuracy will not get reduced by the likes of a blind or a total blind. So, you know, that's pretty useful, especially since Vampirastral is still going to be pretty dominant in the game for a while. Rank 3 status caster self-position, once again you will not miss any attacks. For relics, you can hold the sword relic, and no surprise there, and you can hold the mask relic, no surprise there. Very fitting for the character. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. With the sword relic, you have access to laser beam sword if you want to deal some extra damage. You have access to cane sword if you want to heal. With the mask, you just have a wide variety of masks to choose from. Eotrons to drain stamina, Jastars to drain stamina. You have just so many different relics to utilize. In terms of books, he's an adventure monster, good legions, and an exclusive monster. Alright, now let's talk skills. His basic attacks include critical hits and TNT cannon. Critical hit deals moderate earth damage to an enemy. It is 35 damage and no cooldown, so even if you get hit with CDA, cooldown activation, you still have a skill you can utilize. TNT Cannon is a 20 damage AoE skill. This would be mostly useful against a Megaton monster because, again, in a situation where you got hit with CDA, you're dealing 6 damage against a Megaton monster. For the most part, though, can't really recommend running them. Maybe critical hits, because it is that single target 35 spammable skill. Moving on to tier 1, we have Jumping Under a Tree. Deals low earth damage to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. It's pretty weak, 15 damage, it has a 2-turn cooldown, but I like this skill a lot because it deals 15 damage and then you deal some extra damage. So, I mean, even if you combine Jumping Under a Tree with like critical hits, you're looking at what, 50 damage? So I do like it. It has a 2-turn cooldown once again. Buried in Gravel deals heavy earth damage to an enemy, applies Daze and Quicksand to an enemy. So this is 50 damage on a 1-turn cooldown. Very nice, and it's Daze, which reduces accuracy and damage output by 25%, and Quicksand, which is a earth torture damage against the enemy monster. Alright, we have Water Gun, deals heavy earth damage. This was a perfect opportunity to make it water damage. Alright, but anyhow, deals heavy earth damage to an enemy, applies stun to an enemy. So 50 damage, 2-turn cooldown. The advantage of this skill is that if you do not kill the enemy monster, you are immobilizing the enemy monster with stun. Surprise Explosion deals moderate earth damage to all enemies, applies Daze to all enemies. So this is your stronger AoE skill. It will Daze to all the enemy monsters, and of course if you do this against a Megaton monster, it's 35 times 3, which is what, like 105 damage, 2-turn cooldown. And of course you could always deal some extra damage with Jumping Under a Tree. Alright, moving over to your tier 3 skills, we have a powerful attack here. Hunter's Revenge deals massive earth damage to an enemy, applies Quicksand to an enemy, requires cooldown 65 damage and a 2-turn cooldown. Partner this up with Jumping on a Tree, and you're looking at 15 extra damage for a grand total of 80 damage with basically a single churn, assuming you're not facing some sort of anticipation monster that stumps you. So that's pretty powerful. And last but not least, we have another AoE skill, Hay Ball Trampoline, which deals moderate earth damage to all enemies and applies Quicksand. So it's an extra 5 damage here, but again, against Megaton monster, that's 15 extra damage, and you're applying a DOT against the enemy, you're doing Quicksand. Alright, so, we should talk, the last skill is Beating the Game, which deals very heavy earth damage to all enemies and applies Megastun. So it is a Deny ultimate as well as dealing some heavy earth damage. So here's what I can say about this monster right now, and this is probably going to apply to the majority of corrupted monsters. It's looking at these monsters again, it is once again like looking at Mythics when they were first released. If you guys were not around when Mythic monsters were first released, when we saw their skill sets, it was like, what in the world are these monsters? You know, we had basically original legendary monster skill sets. If you look at Armor Claw, for example, it's like deal moderate fire damage, applies burn, AoE burn, so it's nothing glamorous, it's nothing amazing. So you can pretty much expect, with the exception of a couple corrupted monsters, you're not going to be seeing any groundbreaking, gives an extra turn, and this, and that, and this. Well, again, with the exception of a couple corrupted monsters, because I have seen some leaks of some that can do dodge area, some that can do lots of dots, and a lot of deny, and a mega deny, so yeah, I'll say that. But a majority of the monsters do have basic skills, so with that being said, considering he's one of the OG, considering he is an OG corrupted, I would say the stats are, the skills are okay. Again, there's nothing glamorous. It's literally either do you daze the enemy, do you quicksand the enemy, or do you stun the enemy. In terms of a skill set, what I would run on this monster, I would run this monster as an attacker. I'd give him the Laser Beam Sword to deal extra damage. Mask, I'd probably go with Jazzstar's Mask because I like to drain stamina. But going back to the skill set, Hunter's Revenge is a must. It is your strong attack. Considering this is a corrupted monster that has heightened stats, this monster might be able to OTK a lot of the Cosmics, right? So 65 damage is very nice. I imagine that a 130 Dream is probably going to have the stats equal to that of 150 Cosmics. That's my guess. But anyhow, going back to this, Hunter's Revenge for sure. Jumping under a tree for sure because it's 15 damage, extra turn. And then, I like the stun skill. You never know when you need to immobilize, right? If you can't OTK, you want to go ahead and stun. And then I would say run your strong AoE skill. Again, against a Megaton monster, you're pretty much OTKing Megaton monsters left and right. If the initial damage doesn't kill them, the Quicksand will kill them. So I would say Hay Ball Trampoline, Hunter's Revenge, and I would say Jumping Under a Tree, and what else did I say? The single stun skill, Water Drop. Now, of course, at your discretion, if you want to, this does have a lower cooldown and it applies Quicksand in days, so that's useful, and you still have that 0 cooldown, although I would say only swap that when you're in a situation where you know you can get hit with CDA. The other thing I'm going to mention right now is we have no idea how the obscure talents are going to play into this game. Like, we have no idea what effect they're going to do, how they're going to amplify a monster, so maybe certain obscure talents work with certain skills. Again, we have no idea. There's a lot of speculation. We'll find out pretty soon in a couple of days. So for now, this is my recommended skill set. This is my analysis on Dream based on what I've seen. Oh yeah, we need to talk runes. He is an attacker, so you go the typical attacker rune setup. 2 strength runes and a speed, 2 strength runes and a team speed. Occasionally you can do 1 strength and 2 speed or team speed, but most of the time you go 2 strength and a speed or team speed. And yeah, as of right now, he's just going to be a Megaton monster killer. Killing Shelly, no problem. If it's a 150 Shelly, I guarantee with like a 130 Dream, maybe even a 120 Dream, or a Dream that's broken out to like 127 or something, you're going to be able to OTK 150 Shellys with your powerful 40 damage AoE skill. I'm pretty confident about that. I guess it depends what life runes she's packing, or it's packing. Bomb Betas, yeah, you're going to have no trouble killing Bomb Betas as well. Cryo Crawler as well. So yeah, Dream is a powerful Earth corrupted attacker. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this analysis. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this monster? And once again, try to keep it in the context that this is a whole new era. These are corrupted monsters, so it's not necessarily fair to compare them to cosmic skill sets and legendary skill sets, right? This is a whole new breed of monsters. So with that being said, I'm Rommy Gaming. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think about this monster in the comments below. Thank you very much, and remember to subscribe.